Many months ago, it began with 144 colleges all across North America, and only two colleges remain, the University of Waterloo and the University of British Columbia. This is the Collegiate Star League Finals, and I am freaking day 9, and I'm so excited because right now we are at match point. It is game 5 between these two teams, and that means that the University of British Columbia is just one win away. UBC is at 3-1. University of Waterloo is at 1-3, using my powers of deductive logic. But keep in mind that University of Waterloo is going to be in a comfortable position going to Game 5 because they are sending out tGKangpo, who is a Grandmaster Protoss and one of the few players to have almost a flawless record in the Collegiate Star League. 6-1 in 1v1s and 3-0 in 2v2s. And he is up against Saikou, who, though a solid player, is but a mere Master Zerg to the Grandmaster that is Kangpo. Saikou has had decent stats, but it's still been a solid force for the University of British Columbia. He is 4-3 in 1v1s and 4-1 in 2v2s. And we did see Saikou just lose a game to Super Ninja in that 2v2 department. So that means that Saikou could have a little bit of the confidence issues considering he is up against a Grandmaster and has only really performed a little bit better than 50% in those 1v1s. And University of Waterloo is counting on all of that, hoping to get a win in this match to bring it to 2-3, still 2 games away from victory. But that's still good. Look, we're just going to go into the game. All right, sweet. We got Saikou in the bottom left from the University of British Columbia, the Master Zerg, with a 53% win rate. He is the purple in the bottom left. The map will be Xel'Naga Caverns. In the top right, we have tGKangpo, the Grandmaster Protoss, who is 6-1 in 1v1s. Both players have had the time to prepare and to focus and to do everything good and get zen for this match. Again, it is match point for Team Saikou. Even if his team loses this round, and by his team, I mean him, even if he loses, there is still a big cushion. So that's a very, very nice little ease for Saikou. But keep in mind, match point is never comfortable for either player. So tGKangpo has to play absolutely flawlessly in this game to be able to take himself a win. There's the usual chrono boost from Kangpo. We do see him building his pylon on the high ground. Very uncommon to see ultra-fast early expands with forges on this map due to the wide open nature of the natural. So Kangpo very smartly going to be going for an early wall-off at his front door. We see Saikou, oh my goodness, looks like he might be going for an early expand. We see no pool quite yet, could be throwing it down on 14, and there it goes down. Many Zerg players are convinced that any hatch first is very weak against Protoss due to all the abuses that can happen with things like cannon rushes, things like very early I guess really it's just the cannon rush is the reason I've been hearing from a lot of players, especially from Lucira and Sheth have had extensive troubles against defending against those cannon rushes. Fortunately, none of that will be a problem for Saikou, who is going for the spawning pool and for the extractor. And I love delayed extractor timings. Getting Zergling speed an essential component for Zerg early game, but you don't need to rush for it. Instead, going to favor saving that 100 minerals that he would have spent on speed to end up getting a slightly earlier hatchery. But will Kangpo be able to defend it? Uh-oh. Looks like he's doing a double-decahedron waypoint. Yes, that is right. He tried to draw a heart, but just drew something that is having severe cardiac arrest. That is correct. He will not allow that drone to throw down that expansion. And I love the fact that Saikou is not overreacting. Look at the resources. He has not gone over 300, just going to calmly spend it on queens, on Zerglings, still having guys mining himself enough gas. In the meantime, Kangpo is doing a whole lot of double tetrahedrons nearby that base, but oh, it wasn't tetrahedron enough. Alright, cool. We do see Kangpo is now getting himself that chrono boost on the warp gate. Does he have the second gas geyser going down? Indeed he do. He does. A sentry popping down right now, but with that slightly delayed second gas geyser, it means it was a little bit of a struggle to get that sentry up in time. So not the fastest sentry timing by Kangpo. Also, given the tremendous distances between these bases, Zealot sentry pushes are a little bit more dangerous. So I'm not so convinced that Kangpo is going to be in the best position if he tries to do any sort of aggression. There are the 2 gateways going down, so a very typical 3-gate opening from Kangpo. A very gentle, economic play, especially if he focuses on primarily sentries, which it looks like is what he's doing. But he's going to be devoting a lot of Chrono Boost to that Warp Gate, so that way he can get it done early, get those units out fast, and take himself a quick expo. In Camp Saikou, we do see that he is getting queens to spread the creep, is already approaching his second hatchery. Oopsie daisy, sent the wrong queen out to that expansion. This will not really have enough energy to do a little larva vomitage. Now we see all the drones moving out by Saikou, heading down to that natural expansion. So everything's pretty typical in Camp Zerg, getting what I would call a defensive roach war in the holy crap if he attacks me, don't worry, I got a roach war and everything's cool, baby. Now we see the extra gateways from Kangpo going down. Sentries just now getting themselves warped in, and it looks like if Kangpo can throw down that Nexus before 6 minutes, that will be quite an early Nexus. But it looks like he's a little bit leery of moving out too early, just wants to make sure he has all those sentries done in time. And per usual, very, very nicely timed Nexus, right at 6 minutes. And notice that it is just before the Zergling speed ends up finishing. That means that there was no risk of that probe getting picked off early. And ooh, looks like Kangpo, doing a little bit of probey baiting. Do you want to attack me? Come on, bring it on. Ah, zapping some Zerglings that had to retreat back. Now we see the 2 Xel'Naga watchtowers held by Saikou. Once again, Saikou is on Team UBC, who is up 3-1, and Kangpo from the University of Waterloo trying to do his best to keep his team afloat. There is now still just these 3 gateways. There's the robo facility going down right now. The forge is up as well. So it looks like Kangpo will be going for a little bit of a longer term play, not going to go for any sort of early game 5-gate goofiness. There's the forge now finishing. Cannon is going down. Kangpo does not have enough gas to do any kind of extra boost to his defense with getting that fast +1 attack. Going to save up all that gas to get some of those higher tech structures and those higher tech units. But it looks like Saikou has a little bit of a plan in store. Kangpo doesn't quite have those photon cannons done yet, and it looks like Saikou has completely stopped drone production. We see just Zerglings getting produced, and now the cannons just now finishing from Kangpo. The Zealots are behind there, and it looks like actually almost no Zealots. Still sentries just being made from Kangpo, and here come in a bunch of roaches. There's the slice with the force fields. It looks like he will be able to target fire these cannons down still. Oh no, Kangpo! Oh no, his cannon's still in range. A lot of force fields thrown down by Kangpo. Looks like he might be able to stay alive a little bit longer, but he does not really have any units that can deal that much damage to the roaches. Zergling's now streaming in everywhere. Saikou, the master level Zerg player, managing to pick away at the grandmaster level player. Oh no, getting the observer first instead of the immortal. Not going to be useful. Just be able to see all the units at his front door, killing off everything. UBC might win with this just game, taking out Waterloo, the team to beat. Cannon going down by Kangpo as quickly as he can before that forge ends up getting taken down. Now we see just sentries and zealots are the only thing standing in Saikou's way of taking himself an early win, but he's pulling everything back. Look at this, going back to droning, getting himself an evolution chamber just in case. Stargate now en route for Kangpo. He is doing anything he can to try to circumvent this gigantic force outside the front, trying to do anything to try to step it up, but look at poor Kangpo, has an only sentry army, can hardly do any aggression against speed Zerglings, against roaches, and now we even see spore colonies getting thrown down by Saikou. I mean, for a master level player playing absolutely brilliantly with his lead. One of the big problems with a master level player is a lot of times they'll take the lead, and if they can't end the game right now, sometimes they don't make the best decisions, but not Saikou, making the best decisions, throwing down Spore Crawler just in case for the DTs. Going to be getting an extra queen just in case. Look at this, 4 queens on the field right now, teching up. Absolutely flawless follow-up by Saikou right now, and Kangpo is the one who's under the pressure, trying to rebuild anything he can to make a counter push. Has 3 stalkers out on the field right now, is gently trying to inch his way down. Saikou, his heart must be pounding with glorious beatings of victory. Could he win right here, right now? Just surround this push. There's more Zealots warping in for Kangpo. Zerglings from Saikou just there to do spotting to make sure no expansion could possibly go down. And now that he sees this force, he's going to easily pull back, wait for this +1 to finish. More spine crawlers going down. Excessive but smart, safe, more drones getting produced. is now heading up to get perhaps a third base. Yes, going for that third base. And there's the Nexus going down. Looks like Kangpo cannot quite make use of that Stargate. Oh, because he canceled it. Because the Stargate doesn't exist anymore. But it looks like Saikou getting a perfect sense of what's in this base. 4 gateways in a robo. Only things that Kangpo has right now. Forge down for Kangpo, trying to reestablish that same early defense, has a little bit more of the strong units, and there's the Burrow Tunneling Claws combo coming up for Saikou. Looks like he's going to be favoring a couple more roaches again, trying to knock down his gold rocks and his back rocks. There the gold rocks going down. Kangpo, oh, this is the worst nightmare. When you are way far behind to see your opponent taking another expansion, you feel more and more pressured to push out, to try to do damage, and that's going to be so risky when you have a tiny, tiny little force. More Stalkers trying to get warped in. The Immortal count still quite low. Saikou again playing absolutely brilliantly with his lead, continuing to extend it, taking out the destructible rocks. The only thing Kangpo can really hope to do is to macro up, hope that he can do a huge push, maybe with the crutch of a gigantic Robo Force. Maybe my opponent will forget to get Corruptors in time, and I can just cut away all the Zerglings and the Roaches with those range 9 extended thermal lances. There's now the Tunneling Claws finishing. Saikou continuing to vomit on those extra larvae. And here comes the big push. Spine Crawlers getting ready to make a little cross-map walk journey. Here comes the Overlord Creep Highway. There it is. Saikou building all the defensive structures and thinking, yeah, you know what? Let's just do a little offense with them. And there it is. The Creep Highway getting constructed. The Spine Crawlers already making their way swiftly across the map. Got to be a little careful they don't get too far off creep, but Kangpo having himself a quite healthy army right now of Zealots, Sentries, a good Stalker count, and that's still one Crutch Immortal that can do some big damage if positioned properly. There the Spine Crawlers coming out right now. Uh-oh, Kangpo sees he's going to try to start hitting them. Here comes a huge force of Zerglings and Roaches, but Saikou does have the Burrow and Tunneling Claws upgrade, and there it is, circumventing all the force fields. Does he have an observer here? He doesn't. There is no observer anywhere in sight. The Spine Crawlers continue to march their way up. Saikou is going to win the game for UBC unless Kangpo can pull a miracle. More force fields getting thrown down. Kangpo in a terrible position. The Nexus getting target fired. The Immortal with 16 kills finally manages to get taken down. Master Immortal is no more, and neither is Kangpo's last expansion. He is almost mined out in the main. The Spine Crawlers are now burrowing. Kangpo may have managed to pull the miracle defense, but at the cost of absolutely every hope for economy he had. And more Roaches and more Zerglings streaming for Saikou. Not looking good for Waterloo, but University of British Columbia looks like they're going to be able to take the 4-1 victory against the team to beat. More Roaches advancing forward. The Colossus deep in the orange health. The well-placed cannon making them stay alive a little bit longer, but the Colossus does indeed fall. 33 food for Kangpo. And good game. University of British Columbia takes the win in a 4-1 series. UBC winning all 4 1v1 games. University of Waterloo winning the 2v2. Big congrats to our 2 teams. That does mean University of British Columbia will be taking away $2,000 in prizes from TT Esports. And University of Waterloo will get $1,000 from Justin.tv, the stream that you're watching right now. Huge thanks once again to Zaris and Hazley Nutt for putting that Collegiate Star League together, and for all their wonderful, helpful support staff who helped make the magic happen. 144 schools narrowed down to 2, and UBC gets a victory for this season. And in case any of you want to know how to sign up, you just go there. Look at that, cstarleague.com. I will actually enlarge this overlay. Look at this. Covering up my very own name. That's right, go to cstarleague.com. Make sure to register for next season's events. If you do not have a team at your school, you're probably wrong. Almost every single school out there does have an esports or CSL team, and if they don't exist, make one and definitely sign up and play. Huge heart, thank you for showing up. I am day 9. If you'd like to catch more of me, definitely tune in tomorrow to the Team Liquid Star League, where I will be casting the TSL Round of 4, Day 2. That is right. We're going to find out what Protoss player will pop his way into the final in Heisuabs versus Naniwa. Definitely go follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/day9tv, and youtube.com/day9tv, or the archives at Blip TV. Day9TV.blip.tv. You know what? I've been talking a little bit long, so that means it's going to be time to go, because I have a little bit of final graduating school action to do, starting right now. You guys, take care. Don't go anywhere except for college. That way you can play in the CSL. Thanks for tuning in. Au revoir. Peace out. Cheers.